In this video, we will see why giving too many explanations to others weakens you and takes away your inner peace, makes you vulnerable and exposes you to unwanted criticism and judgment, taking away precious energy and distancing you from your true essence. Have you ever felt empty after trying to justify your every action? Have you ever felt frustrated trying to make yourself understood at all costs? And how many times have you felt compelled to explain your choices, even the most intimate ones, to people who had no right to know them? You must know that this need to explain everything to everyone hides a deep insecurity and a lack of self-confidence. What if we told you that there is a way to free yourself from this trap and finally live in harmony with your true nature without the constant need for approval from others? How would you feel if you could finally be yourself, without masks, without pretenses, without the fear of other people's judgment, and if it were possible to achieve an inner serenity that does not depend on what others think of you? So, stick around until the end because you're going to discover the 7 reasons why explaining yourself to others can be very harmful to you, and how you should behave to avoid doing so, thanks to the profound wisdom of an elderly Buddhist monk who will guide you on a journey of self-discovery, a journey that will change you forever. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Also, click on the link in the first comment and subscribe to the Telegram channel to receive discounts of up to 70% on many products before they run out. Silence reigned in the Ryonji Temple, an oasis of peace immersed in the green foliage of a maple forest on the hills of Kyoto. The Zen garden, with its raked white sand and 15 seemingly randomly arranged rocks, exuded a sense of calm and mystery. The morning sun filtered timidly through the rice paper windows, illuminating the main hall where a group of pilgrims waited, seated seiza on tatami mats. They had come from far away, some from rural villages, others from chaotic cities, all with hearts heavy with questions and souls searching for answers. They wished to meet the venerable monk Kisuk, known for his profound wisdom, his calm voice, and his ability to dispel the fogs of ignorance with simple, direct words like a lighthouse guiding ships in the night. Kisuk, a man of 80 with a shaved head and a long saffron robe, entered the room with a slow and composed step, almost ethereal. His eyes, serene and penetrating like the sky after a storm, seemed to hold the secrets of the universe, to have seen and understood everything there was to see and understand. He sat cross-legged on a cushion in front of the pilgrims, and a benevolent smile, reminiscent of a grandfather's kindness, spread across his wrinkled face, marked by time and experience. "Welcome," he said in a deep, calm voice, a voice that had the power to calm even the most agitated minds. "I sense that you have come here with your hearts heavy with questions and uncertainties, a burden common to many in this time of confusion. What is troubling you? Do not be afraid to express your doubts, because only by facing them can we find the way to serenity." A young woman, her eyes filled with tears and her voice trembling, dared to speak first. She wore a blue silk kimono, which must have once been beautiful, but now seemed faded like her dreams. "Venerable Keisuk, I always feel a need to justify my actions, to explain my every thought, my every choice, every little nuance of my being to everyone. I desperately seek their approval, their understanding, yet the more I do it, the more empty and insecure I feel, like a vase that keeps leaking water from an invisible crack. Why? Why does this need to explain make me so weak?" Keisuk nodded understanding. His eyes reflected a deep empathy, an intimate knowledge of human suffering. "Your question is profound, my daughter, and it touches on a fundamental truth of existence, a truth often overlooked in the clamor of daily life. Giving too many explanations to others is like leaving the doors of your home open, not just any home, but the home of your soul, allowing anyone to enter and rummage through your possessions, your memories, your dreams. It is an action that weakens us, not strengthens us, because it makes us vulnerable, exposed to the judgment and manipulation of others. Today, I will explain to you the 7 reasons why this happens, 7 like the colors of the rainbow, each of which represents a different aspect of this weakness. You lose your personal power, your essence. When you explain your every action, your every choice, your every thought. Kisuk began, his voice like the rustling of leaves in the wind. You hand over your decision-making power to others, as if you were a puppet in their hands. You become dependent on their approval, their understanding, their judgment, and this judgment is often not benevolent. It is as if you gave them the remote control of your life, allowing them to change the channel whenever they want, without taking into account your desires, your needs. Remember, your life is a sacred garden, a unique and unrepeatable garden, and you are the only gardener who can decide which flowers to grow and which weeds to pull out. Do not allow others to trample on your flower beds to decide what to plant for you. Unsolicited invitations, criticisms, and judgments, an unnecessary burden. Every time you open the book of your life, a book written with the ink of your experiences, in front of someone, the monk continued, you give them permission to read it, to comment on it, to judge it, even if you haven't explicitly asked them to. Not everyone is a benevolent reader or a constructive critic, animated by good intentions. Some enjoy pointing out mistakes and reducing your dreams with a cutting cynicism and feeding your doubts with poisonous words, if only out of a perverse sense of superiority. Their words can become like woodworms that eat away at your self-esteem, your self-love, leaving you insecure and vulnerable, like a tree with weakened roots. You diminish the aura of mystery that surrounds you, a precious veil. A pinch of mystery is essential to maintain the respect and interest of others, to preserve your individuality, Kisuk explained, his tone evoking images of ancient rituals. Imagine a lake with calm and deep waters, a lake surrounded by a silent forest. No one knows what lies in its depths, what mysterious creatures inhabit it, and this aura of mystery makes it fascinating, magnetic. But if you drain that lake, exposing every stone, every seaweed, and every creature at its bottom, it will lose all its charm, its magic. Likewise, revealing every detail of yourself, every thought, every emotion makes you predictable, banal, and easily manipulated, like a book with a torn cover and yellowed pages. You waste precious energy, a treasure to be guarded. Explaining, justifying, arguing requires time and energy, limited resources in this short existence, said the monk, in a tone that recalled the tolling of a bell. Energy that you could use to cultivate your talents, to pursue your goals, to build something meaningful, to help those in difficulty. It's as if you were feeding a fire that doesn't warm you, a fire that consumes your resources, your vitality, without giving you anything in return, leaving you only ashes and regret. Dilute the value of your actions, their intrinsic strength. Actions speak louder than words. They are the true mirror of the soul. When your actions are consistent, strong, and determined, they don't need explanations, they explain themselves, Kisuk said, his tone firm and decisive. But if you accompany them with a river of words, with endless justifications, you weaken their impact, you empty them of meaning, you make them opaque. It's as if I painted a masterpiece, a unique work of art, and then covered it with a veil, obscuring its beauty, its expressive power, and its vibrant colors. You expose yourself to manipulation, an insidious trap. He who knows your weaknesses, your fears, your insecurities, can use them to his advantage, like a skilled strategist who exploits the enemy's weaknesses, the monk warned, a serious expression on his face. When you reveal too much of yourself, you give others the keys to open the doors of your mind and heart, the fortresses of your soul. They may use them to manipulate you, to get what they want, to bend you to their will, like a blade of grass bent by the wind. You lose sight of your true essence, your authentic self. The constant need for external approval, the incessant desire to please others, distances you from your center, from your true essence, from your deepest core. Kesut concluded, in a tone that was both a warning and an invitation to reflection. You start living your life for the sake of others, trying to please them, to adapt to their expectations, like a chameleon that changes color to blend in. And in doing so, you lose sight of who you really are, what your deepest desires are, what your true purpose in life is, your unique and unrepeatable mission. A silence full of meaning, a silence that spoke more than 1,000 words, spread through the hall. The pilgrims were absorbed, deeply touched. Kesuk's words echoing in their minds like bells from a distant temple, shaking them from the torpor of their existence. The monk, with a slow and measured gesture, took a cup of green tea, whose delicate scent spread through the air, and sipped its contents, closing his eyes for a moment, as if to savor not only the tea, but also the silence and depth of the moment. Then, with a gaze that seemed to embrace the entire universe, a gaze that contained within it the wisdom of 1,000 lives, he said, "Remember, my children, true strength lies not in being understood by others, but in understanding yourself, in knowing your own soul deeply. Don't waste your life trying to please everyone to gain the approval of a superficial and changing world. Cultivate your interiority, find your center, your inner peace, and live in harmony with your true nature, without masks, without pretenses. Only in this way will you find the peace and happiness you seek, not an ephemeral happiness, but a lasting happiness rooted in the depths of your being." And at that moment, the sun came out from behind the clouds, flooding the room with a golden light, as if nature itself wanted to underline the truth of those words.